Hey everybody. Hey Marla. Hey Susan and John. Good morning. I hope you can hear me okay. There's a lot of activity on the street, trucks and leaf collection, and it's a little bit interfering in my head, but hopefully I sound okay to you. It is another beautiful morning. We had some crazy rain last night out of the blue, and then it cleared up and the sun is shining. It's a beautiful fall day. Oh, Janet, you're here live. How exciting. Janet always typically watches on the replay, and so nice to see you here live. Good morning to everybody. All right. Wow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We will get started in a moment. Hi. Greetings. This is Annie Moyer on Sun and Moon Yoga Studio's YouTube channel. It is Monday morning, November something, 16th-ish, I think. And I am happy to be here. We're going to do a short practice that I'm calling Grounded with Freedom. And the idea is that when we are uncertain of the way forward, whatever that way may be. And right now, I feel like the question for so many of us is how to move forward in our socio-political climate now that it appears that the election results are clear and firm and we have a winner. And we also have remaining what is a deep and entrenched division. And I've been having a lot of conversations with friends and colleagues about how do you reconcile the other side, whatever you perceive to be the other side as. Do we cross the aisle and seek common ground? Do we entrench deeper in how we plan to move forward and what our beliefs are and ignore the other side? Do we try to understand each other? Or do we write off the other side as never being understandable? These are the questions that are in front of us right now. And my role here this morning is not to give the answers, but to suggest that there is a freedom in getting super clear and super grounded about what our beliefs are, about what our values are, about what our choices are going to be. And then we make those choices and act on them from a very grounded place. The yoga teachings do not tell us which side is right. What they tell us is that whatever action you take, you do it maintaining your composure, your equanimity, your compassion and patience. That you take clear steps in the direction that you've chosen with some clarity, and that whatever you do is not done out of anger or hatred. So when we do practices with the body and the breath and the mind that make sure that we know how to stay grounded, then we can continually fill our tanks with those qualities required for clear and further action, those qualities of compassion and equanimity and patience and kindness. So that's what we'll look at today. So if you can find a comfortable seat, I'll offer this with my legs crossed You might have more comfort in having your legs straight out in front of you. You might have more comfort in sitting on the edge of a sofa or a chair. And these movements will work regardless. Right? So with a tall spine and a sense of grounding through both sitting bones and the tailbone dropping behind and the pubic bone dropping down in front, the base of the torso gets anchored and supported by the earth. And then we take some slow, steady breaths. And I like to notice the rising tide of energy on my exhale. So as we exhale, the diaphragm floats up just beneath the rib cage, and perhaps you can feel a matching energy upwardly floating through the whole torso and the spinal column, up through the base of the skull and the crown of the head. And as we inhale, the diaphragm presses down into the abdominal organs, and perhaps we can match that downward experience by sensing the anchored base of the pelvis, meeting the steady, supportive energy of the earth. And then as we next inhale, take the arms up nice and tall. And then at the top of the inhale, pause for just a split second and exhale, release the arms back down. And we'll do that a couple more times. Inhaling, reach up nice and tall. Exhaling, the arms come down. And inhale again, reach up nice and tall. On the exhale, drop one arm down and reach over sideways. And then turn your chest up a little bit, freeing up the heart. So the grounded pelvis and the freedom in the upper torso. And now with this raised arm, start to backstroke and make big circuits around and around. And then if you like, you can trace the movements of the fingertips with your gaze. So the head turns a little bit as the arm revolves. We keep breathing. We keep tuning in to the grounded pelvis and the lengthened torso, even though it has leaned sideways. Still long and spacious. And then come back up. Sit tall. Take a breath at center. And both arms up. Inhale. And then on the exhale, tip over to the other side. Turn the heart upward. Breathe. And then commence the revolving movement of the arm as if it is backstroking. Do anything you want with your head and with your gaze. You can follow the fingertips with your eyes, or you can just hold the head in a neutral, steady position. This is a nice movement for the shoulder and a nice little pump of action for the lymph nodes that live at the juncture between the limb and the torso. It's always nice to get lymphatic fluid moving through the body as that movement relies on muscular movement, skeletal movement. One of the many reasons why exercise of any kind is so important to help support the immune system. back up to center, sitting tall. Deep breath, inhale both arms up. Inhale both arms down. Inhale, arms up again. This time, take a little twist with the upper torso, the rib cage, turning to one side and bring the arms down. One arm behind you, one arm across your lap. And now, bend over, hinging deep in the groins, over the thigh that you're facing. So whichever side you twisted toward, lean over that thigh. And then bring your hands to the floor or to some support on either side of the knee. And bow down, and then come back up. And then bow down, and come back up. So we're combining a twisting movement with a fold. And we're exhaling as we go down and inhaling as we come up. And then as we come back up this time, pause, stay turned to the side, but the torso is upright. Inhale, reach the arms, and then turn to center, and turn to the other side. And for this side, I'm going to switch the way my legs are crossed. Arms come down, pause in the upright twist, one hand behind you, the other hand across your lap. A deep breath in, and a slow, steady breath out. And then take the hands, one on either side of the knee, onto the floor or some support, blocks, pillows, blankets, anything. And on an exhale, dip down over the thigh, and inhale, rise up tall, and fold down. So whereas I'm super grounded and totally steady in my seat, I also have such profound freedom in this movement. And the movement does not require any amount of depth. There's no goal here about how low you fold. So you may fold an inch or 3 or half a foot, or you may lay belly on thigh. It doesn't matter. The idea is just finding a free-flowing, accessible movement. And one more time, dipping down into the fold. Remember, we're hinging at the groins, not at the waist, so the spine stays long. Inhale, come back up, pause, you're facing to the side. Reach the arms up tall, and on your exhale, face forward and soften and drop the arms down. This time, take your knees and stack them and swing your feet off behind, off to one side. Come down onto one elbow. So now you have one leg that's on top. Keep both knees bent and take the top leg as you exhale and draw it in towards either toward your chest or your belly or up to the side. Anywhere here, it doesn't matter. Body dimensions are all different and unique. So wherever it feels comfortable to draw the knee closer to you, that's where you go. Finish the exhale, tuck the chin a little bit, move your forehead in the direction of the knee. There's no requirement to touch forehead to knee. And then as you inhale, swing this bent leg back behind you. Open up the thigh, the hip, the belly, the chest, and the arm. Turn your gaze up. So this top leg now is behind you. And then exhale, bring everything back in. And inhale, open it up. Swing the leg back, turn the chest high, and do this, back and forth. So whereas this movement is probably considerably more challenging when we do it on our hands and knees, Here we're finding this freedom of movement where we're totally grounded and supported by the floor. Hip is down, elbow and forearm are down. So when steps forward are uncertain, when we aren't quite sure what to do next, I believe that getting close to the earth is helpful. And letting movement unfold from there. Okay, next time you come in, pause. And then push yourself up. And swing your legs around to the other side. And come down onto the other elbow. And then on an exhale, swing the top bent knee closer to you, round the upper back, forehead toward the knee. Inhale, slide the leg behind you, open up the arm and the heart. And then exhale, bring it back in. Inhale. Exhaling, squeezing in, curling around. And inhaling, opening up. Just a couple more times. And then hands to the floor. Push yourself back upright and swing the legs around in front of you. Cross the legs. Take a clearing breath. Inhale, reach. Exhale, release. Come onto your hands and knees now. So from table pose, just a few rounding movements of the spine, arching the mid-spine up and arching it down. Exhale, make the shape of a rainbow with the torso. Inhale, make the shape of a hammock. And then pause in a neutral position and take a big giant step forward with each hand. Keep the knees centered underneath the hips and drop the chest down. Perhaps the forehead lands. Perhaps you want more space between your hands if this pinches your shoulders in any way. Lift the belly gently into the spine, but drop the chest toward the floor. Scoop in your inhales and allow the exhales to fall away. Find some freedom with the hips, lifting the sitting bones up without collapsing the lower back. So the belly stays gently drawing up and in, just a little bit of resistance against gravity as the sitting bones turn up and the spine continues lengthening. And now grip the floor with your hands, pull the floor towards you as you roll forward over your knees onto your thighs. Bend the elbows, drop the hips, drop the belly, drop the ribs. Slide your hands even more forward, press into the floor, pushing it away from you. Swing your elbows in close to each other and lift up your heart. And breathe. And then come back down. Slide your hands back about 6 inches. Push back up with the hips and then drop down again with the chest into this puppy pose or half dog. Find Find the length in the spine, the open space across the collarbones and your shoulders. And then pull the floor towards you. Once again, roll over your knees, land on your thighs, your hips, your belly, your ribs. Bend the elbows lower down. And then slide the hands forward again. And rise up. Squeeze your elbows in toward each other. Lift the heart. And then come back down. Slide the hands back. Push back up to table pose. And around the spine again into a rainbow shape. And arch it into a hammock shape. Do a few rounds of that, breathing in, breathing out. Luxuriating in this entirely grounded and very much free-flowing movement. Okay, now flip over onto your back. Knees bent, feet on the floor. And roll the hips back and forth a few times. You'll feel the undulation of the lower spine, and as the hips roll back, you feel the lower spine pressing into the floor. And as the hips roll forward, you may feel a little arch returning to the lumbar region. And then come to a neutral position. And pull one knee into the chest and then straighten the leg to the ceiling. And then bend that knee, step the foot down. Pull the other knee into the chest. Straighten the leg up toward the ceiling, pressing through your heel. Bend the knee, bring it down. Do that a couple more times on each side. The grounded torso and spine on the ground is giving freedom to the legs to stretch up and out. And here we're giving some nice movement in the groins, another collection of lymph nodes, providing some of that muscular contraction to get the lymphatic fluid flowing and doing its good immune boosting work. One more time with one leg. And now, both legs together. Stretching up, bending in, stepping down. Exhale, pull both knees in, and then stretch both legs up, press through the heels. And then inhale, step down. If your breath does an opposite rhythm, that's great. And if you've noticed that that's happening, even more great. So it's with this grounded freedom that we understand whatever movements we choose, if we're doing them from a grounded, clear, conscious place, then they will probably be correct. Okay, next time you straighten your legs up, leave them there. And raise your arms up back behind your head. Reach backwards through the fingertips. Spread your shoulders wide apart from each other on the ground without taking the arms too wide. And then perhaps you can turn your palms to face the ground. So here's an upside down, downward facing dog. Deep, steady breaths. Slow and clear. And then release the arms down. Pull your knees into your chest. Step your feet to the floor. What I'd like to offer next is a reclining twist, but with a little bit of an inversion so that the head is going to be lower than the heart, and the heart is going to be a little lower than the hips. So in order to do this, you need a couple of pillows or blankets. I'm just going to grab these pillows off this chair, stack them up in the middle of my mat, and then take a blanket and fold it up pretty thick and put it next to the pillows. So you can pause me if you want and gather up those props, or maybe you have things handy. Sofa pillows and cushions work really great here. Pillows from your bed also work really great, so you don't need formal yoga props. Truly, you don't. Whatever you've got underneath you, supporting your pelvis, lifting it any amount off of the floor. Carefully lie back. Start with your hands behind you, and then your elbows dropping to the floor, and then shimmying down so the upper back touches down and the head is even on the floor. So here you've got this gentle incline from your head up to the heart and then up a little higher to the hips. And then both knees come in, and both knees then drop off to the side onto whatever pillow or blanket or support you put there to catch the legs. And then turn your head opposite the knees. It often feels nice to spread the arms out wide. Another option is to take one arm and reach it back behind you. Take a few breaths. And slowly, to prepare for the other side, turn the head to center. Lift just the top leg. Pull the knee in towards you. And then you'll feel that the spine is starting to roll back to neutral. And then you can lift the other leg. Bring both feet to the floor. Resituate yourself on the lift under the pelvis. And take whatever blanket you've prepared and put it on the other side. And then pull the knees in again. Both knees towards you, and then both knees off to the side. Let the blanket or pillow catch them on the side, and then turn the top of the spine and the head away from the knees. And breathe. Grounded freedom. The floor and your props are holding you steady, allowing you to cultivate these qualities required so that we move forward and take skillful action that's compassionate and equanimous, kind and patient, clear and deliberate. And then turn the head to center. Lift the top leg, bring the knee back up, and then naturally roll back onto your back. Put both feet back on the floor and pause here for a few breaths. Let the body settle back into an untwisted, a symmetrical position. Circulate breath through this new form. And then press your feet into the floor. Lift your hips up gently away from the props. And then pull them out and off to the side. Pause here dynamically in a bridge pose. Root down through the feet and the shoulders. So 4 points of ground as we explore the upward freedom of the hips, the belly, and the heart. And then slowly release back down to the ground. And pause for another clearing breath. And then gather yourself up, roll onto your side. Press up to sit. Legs in any comfortable position. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. May your path forward today and tomorrow and all the rest of the days of your life be fed with clarity and with grounded freedom. Thank you so much for joining me. Take good care, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy the sunshine. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Social distance. Lots of love. Thank you, Jane.